Hello, fellow stargazers. Bryan Colter here for your Evolutionary Astrology report for the upcoming Aries new moon that happens on March 24th. And this is happening just a few days after we've entered a new season of spring. And then the new moon itself represents new beginnings, new intentions, planting new seeds. So now we're squarely in this new season, and the energetic tone or texture has changed radically into Aries, the warrior. And before we start with the imagery of the warrior, let's start on a different page here. And that's of the newborn baby robin. Now, if you think of a little baby robin, it'd be easy to imagine it, cowering away, sequestering itself in some safe corner of the nest, making as little noise as possible so that all the predators surrounding it will not eat it. But is that what we see? No, that's not what we see. We see this little robin screaming at the top of its lungs, demanding to be fed, demanding the right to exist, survival, and force of will against all odds. This is the energy of the warrior as well. Another beautiful archetype associated with Aries is that of the hero. They're brave, they're strong, they're good under pressure, they're self-sacrificial. So a relative immunity to panic and competence under pressure. And of course, we've entered the season of the hero, and it makes me immediately think of everybody risking their lives in the medical field, especially in those countries that are really getting brought to their knees right now. Doctors and nurses dedicating 24 hours a day, risking their own lives, putting the lives of their family at risk if they get sick, all for the benefit of others, which brings us to another key word with the warrior, which is honor. Wow, that's honorable work. The healer-warrior archetype really emphasized here. So we've entered into the season of the warrior, and of course this new moon itself really brings this major theme of the healer to the forefront. Healing is going to be, as we'll see, a major theme of this reading. And the reasons for that is, the moon itself represents healing, Moon the Great Mother. And the new moon, both sun and moon, are next to the planetoid Chiron, known as the wounded healer. And then the new moon and Chiron are also square the north node in Cancer. North node's about our collective karma, and here it is in the sign of Cancer, which is about self-nurturing, licking our own wounds. And then one more planet dealing with healing is Pluto. I'll get to that a little bit later, but Pluto ultimately represents a wound and then the process of healing that wound. So we have four major votes that are really pointing down this avenue of health and healing. So we take this archetype of the healer, we take this archetype of the warrior, we kind of blend them together into this meta-archetype of the protector. You think of warriors, it's like they protect the weak. They protect those who can't defend themselves. Same with healers. They protect those who are weakened, that are in need, that are suffering. So protector archetype, protecting ourselves, protecting our families and our communities, and developing the warrior vigilance to protect with our force of will to survive against all odds in this season of the warrior. Now, we want to pay close attention to the planet that rules Aries as well, and that's Mars. And even if Mars was kind of hiding off in some obscure corner of the sky, trying not to be seen, we'd have to pay close attention to it. But it's not. It's in one of the most charged locations in the sky because it's in a near exact conjunction with Jupiter and Pluto. A triple conjunction, which basically means they're all within about a degree or two of each other in the sky right now. And we'll talk about that conjunction in a second here, but looking at the fact that all three of these planets are in the sign of Capricorn. One of the archetypes associated with Capricorn is the hermit. Isolation, so self-isolation to protect ourselves, our families, and our communities. That's kind of the integration of these symbols, at least as we're seeing it today. Now, taking a closer look at this triple conjunction of Mars, Jupiter, and Pluto, this is very, very potent, potentially volatile and explosive because of the nature of these planets as they get shaken together in this pretty potentially vicious cocktail. And of course, there's an extreme high end and an extreme low end. Just like anything in life, every front has a back. We have this polarity between light and dark in these dimensions of duality. The reason these three planets are so potent is because you have Jupiter, the planet of expansion, right next to Mars, the planet of, let's say, speeding up, being assertive, jumping into battle. Mars, the war god that rules Aries, the warrior. And then you have Pluto, the planet of extremes. Okay? And all together, it's like explosiveness, potentially, whether it's on the high or the low. Now, in terms of looking at the low here, these are all filtering through the sign of Capricorn. Low end of Capricorn, at least one of them, is control. Extreme forms of control in this culture of fear. Fear used as a mechanism for control, causing a lot of panic in the world. And of course, these energies kind of play off of each other. The more we panic, the more the grip of control gets tightened. I could easily see how this energy, if it runs away, could lead to like some sort of martial law situation. I don't think that'll happen. But that's one of extreme example of these energies coming together now, if things really get out of hand. So we have this overarching theme of healing, but also fears. So heal our fears and avoid panic. And of course, fear is a very stress-based response. When we feel fear in the body, a lot of worry, a lot of concern, a lot of fear, for our own health, for our loved ones, for our stubborn parents who keep going outside in the epicenter, things like this. And it's understandable, absolutely. But when we look at fear, it causes us a lot of stress, it damages our DNA, and actually makes us more susceptible to disease. So at the end of this video, I'll be doing another guided meditation that will help to dissolve fear and target that emotion specifically. So Jupiter, Mars, Pluto, the planet of wounding, emotional, psychological wounding, in this case fear, from being raised in a culture of fear, cultures and governments, and using that fear as a mechanism for control. We've grown up in that. So we have this amygdala that's just a fear factory. We've been trained to crank out that fear. And of course now this is heightened by what we're experiencing, but of course the planets are mirroring that. It's like strengthened through the Mars, sped up, also with the Jupiter expanding that in our reality. But looking at the high end's ultimately healing from the fear. Not giving in to the fear anymore. Like a warrior saying no, the right use of force, setting boundaries within yourself, because ultimately we have the control over the fear. The fear is powerful. It's been fed a lot of energy over our life. It's compelling within us. But with the superpower of our soul, we can choose to not feed that fear anymore and have faith, which brings us to the more positive aspect of Jupiter, the faith builder. Jupiter wants us to believe in ourselves. So when looking at Jupiter through the evolutionary astrology lens, we ask ourselves the question, how am I underestimating myself? How am I underestimating my own potential to overcome my fears? And how can I develop more faith in the divine plan? That's one opportunity there. Of course, having faith in the divine plan will help us to relax a little bit. We want to avoid panic here at all costs, and by strengthening our faith and our warrior spirit, we can do that. We can overcome our wounding. That being said, let's look more big picture now and recognize a major event just happened, just about coinciding with this transition into spring. And that's Saturn changed signs finally into Aquarius. It's been in Capricorn for quite some time, and now it's started to just dip its toes into Aquarius. It'll be in Aquarius for a few months, till July 1st, and then it'll go retrograde and then backtrack back into Capricorn again, and then it'll enter Aquarius again December 2020, where it will remain until March of 2023. So we're getting 3-month preview now of what 2021 to 2023 will be. Aquarius archetypally is known as the rebel or the revolutionary. And ultimately, it's about evolution of society, of technology, of our own thinking, revolutionary of thought. So evolution, great change in our evolution. Saturn, the bringer of change. Edgar Cayce, the sleeping prophet from the 20th century, that's how he viewed Saturn. He was asked about Saturn, or all the planets, in some of his sessions, and he's one of the most famous psychics ever, and he said Saturn's the bringer of change. So great change in evolution as we enter into this overarching age of Aquarius. That's the big picture evolutionary intention. Okay, but let's look at the shadow side too. Saturn rules Capricorn. It's a lot about control. So control in our evolution. Aquarius, the sign of freedom. Control in our freedom. So control is a major theme here with these variety of planets. I was just listening to a YouTube video this morning, actually. Russell Brand, he interviewed some guy, don't remember his name, but he was talking about a Buddhist monk that was giving a talk on fear and panic. And he said, people tend to panic when they feel like everything is out of their control. And that's a major theme of what we're experiencing here collectively. But then he just flipped it a little bit and he just said, the Buddhist perspective is relax because everything's out of your control. It's such a simple flip of framing. We can't control everything in our external environment, but what we can control, even in the face of external chaos, is our internal environment, how we choose to react to external stimulus, whether it be our emotions or our thoughts. Now, in a crisis, there's a great danger, of course, but there's also an opportunity. And the danger is, our own health, of course. But it also, and in a lot of ways even more scary, in my opinion, is our own structure. Our structure is a bit flimsy. It's like nobody's working now. Everybody's protecting, self-protecting. It's like, well, there'll be food in the grocery stores a couple months from now if things get bad. Now, I don't think things will get really bad. I'm pretty optimistic about it. But we can recognize the flaws in our system and recognize it's a lot more vulnerable than many people realize. And there also could be we're seeing it right now, a lot of disruption in the markets, in the stock markets. And Pluto and Jupiter's linked to changes of wealth, great gain, a great gain of wealth, also a lot of loss in wealth. Now, Saturn in Aquarius, change and evolution. Now, Saturn's currently in a square with Uranus, the disruptor. And Uranus is in the sign of Taurus money, so a lot of disruption in money, in finances. But we recognize that the financial system is a mess anyways. It's a fiat currency. We create wealth out of debt. It's completely unsustainable. And we're seeing that now. It reminds me of playing Monopoly. Here we have this, we're playing make-believe. Here we have this paper money. It only has the value that we give it in our minds. And we're to use this paper money to buy little green and red houses, buy these little imaginary properties, It's an agreed upon illusion, basically, which is showing the cracks. And that's very much about Saturn and Pluto and all these planets, showing the cracks in these old, outdated, archaic structures. And money is just a very obvious one here. So we'll probably see some change in money, evolution in money, more freedom around money, as Saturn has now dipped its toes in this sign of Aquarius. So we're getting a preview of what 2021 to 2023 will be. I'm very, very excited about those 2 years, but now we're getting the preview. And in terms of money, big changes in money, we might see more stability in cryptocurrency or something, cashless society, might even see the return of the gold-backed dollar. That would be wonderful, or maybe a combination of the two. I was just living in China, left there early January, right before the outbreak. And one of my favorite things about living in Shanghai was they were a cashless society. They use this app called WeChat, and it's their social media, it's their banking, it's everything. It's like Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and your bank all in one. And you show up to a store or something, you get your items, you go to cash out, and they just scan the little code on your WeChat on your smartphone, boom, out you go. And we have we're semi-cashless in the West. A lot of us have bank cards, but in China, they don't even use bank cards hardly. And that was one of my favorite things about that culture. It was very easy, very streamlined. So going more in a cashless direction, maybe gold-backed currency, figuring out a way to have a better system, because the one that we have is really doomed to fail, and we're starting to see that now. Now, in a crisis, there's great danger and opportunity. Well, one of the opportunities there is evolution in currencies and banking. That also technology. Aquarius deals with technology. So technology is to help us out medically during this crisis, potentially. But just technology across the board, a massive change in evolution in terms of technology. Start releasing some of those patented technologies that can really help us out right now. So disclosure, I think that may be a big theme of the next couple months. But we'll see a trickle of it as Saturn introduces itself into Aquarius, and it'll be a preview, a snapshot of what we'll get, the main theme of 2021 to 2023, as we become more free as society and break the chains of these old structures that have kept us in, relative slavery. It really feels like we're at the end of a cycle here. Okay, season of endings. I'm not trying to be doom and gloom or post-apocalyptic here, not at all, actually the opposite. But the transition between Age of Pisces and Age of Aquarius, 2,100-year cycles, really takes a couple hundred years to transition fully, but this is a pivotal point right now that we've entered. And things need to come to an end, famously, before they begin anew. And what are those new seeds that are going to sprout from the ground we'll start to see as Saturn enters Aquarius? New systems around currencies, freedom in thought, freedom in technology. It all circles back to that. Meanwhile, we're feeling a bit of an earthquake under our feet. And what we want to avoid in this new, spring, this new cycle of the warrior, of the hero, of the newborn baby Robin, we want to overcome our fears, okay, and realize we have more power over it than we're told. To avoid panic, to melt the fears, recognize and have faith that there's this divine plan going on here. Of course, cross our T's, dot our I's, make sure we got the fridge stocked, etc. Protect those we love, protect ourselves. This ultimately is about healing through the protector archetype. Okay. But the best way you can help to heal yourselves and others is to not fall into fear and panic, because that will damage the DNA, cause stress in the body, and make you more susceptible to illness. So with the superpower that is your warrior-like indomitable will, choose otherwise. Choose not to focus your consciousness on your negative emotions and your negative thoughts. Instead, prefer to be in somewhat of a detached reason. That's another way to look at Saturn in Aquarius. Recognize it sucks now, but to just do our best and to not panic. That's the bottom line. That's the major theme over the next couple weeks here, so that we can have all our energy working in our prefrontal cortex and think reasonably, and also be there when we need to be as the hero archetype. And that's the evolutionary intention, with the goal always being to expand our consciousness. Now, with that all being said, let's transition into the meditation now. And this is designed to really target that fear and relax the emotional body, also known as the astral body. And as you prepare for this meditation, I recommend sitting somewhere comfortably, having a nice straight spine, and to use headphones, because I do use binaural beat technology to help sync you into a meditative state. Enjoy. Begin by breathing slowly and comfortably. Inhale into your stomach. And as you exhale, feel your stomach contract. Nice and slow, rhythmical breathing. Four heartbeats per inhale. 4 heartbeats per exhale. In, out. As you inhale, feel the tissues of your body expand outwardly. And as you exhale, feel your tissues contract. In, out. Now focus your awareness on the bottom of both of your feet. Be in your feet. And visualize the color snow white in both of your feet. And each time you inhale, see the white grow brighter and brighter. Feel all the tissues in your feet relax. Now see the color raise up into the ankles. Now into the calf muscles. Feel the muscles soften and relax. You feel a warmth in your lower legs. You see the color white go brighter and brighter. Hold the visualization as strongly as you can. If you get distracted, that's okay. Just calmly redirect your attention to the task at hand. Now see the color move up into the knees. And up into the thighs. A bright snow white color. Snow white represents the color of God. All colors are in white. God is all there is. See the color rise up into the hips now. And see both of your legs surrounded by a snow white color. See it grow brighter and brighter. Now bring your awareness up into your belly. From the lower abdomen all the way up to the solar plexus. Feel as though you're in your belly. Now start to visualize in the center of your stomach a sky blue color. See it form as a nebula, like a collection of gases. This is really energy, etheric vitality. See this sky blue nebula get brighter and brighter. The color of sky blue calms the nervous system. It relieves stress from the body. As you inhale, see the nebula grow in size and become brighter. And as you exhale, see the sky blue color ripple out through the rest of your body like an ocean tide. Allow the waves to calm your body. Wish peace in your physical body. The sky blue nebula continues to grow in size and brightness. Now see it in and around your belly. It is now as bright as the sun. In the stomach is the center of your energy body. You are feeding your energy body, but also relaxing all the stress out of your body. If you want to dissolve your fears, keep focusing on this color. And peace will reign in your body. Now move up to the chest area. And see a rosy pink color in and around your chest. Don't focus on the heart, but rather in and around your chest. In the color of white rose. The chest area is your emotional center. Start to feel self-love and gratitude. And realize, although collectively we're in great suffering now, life is really a blessing. And show yourself some compassion for how well you've done. As you inhale, see the rosy white color grow brighter and brighter. And as you exhale, see it expand out of your chest center. Wish peace to reign in your heart and to find balance in your emotions and desires. With this color strong now, extend this loving energy out to your friends and family. Send them love and compassion. Be more of a healing presence in their lives. And extend that love out to your city or town. And now out to your country. And the world. See the world surrounded in this white rose color. And with the superpower that is your focused, loving intent, you are helping the world energetically by sending it love. By being a light worker. And you're helping to reduce the suffering of other people in this world where we're caught up in this struggle between light and dark. See the color go brighter and brighter. Now take a moment to send love to everybody, all the heroes in the medical field, all the doctors and nurses and paramedics that are risking their lives every day to save us. Send them love, compassion, and gratitude for their honorable work. Now return your attention to your chest area. Feel the warmth, comfort, the love. Your now unimpeded connection to God as you've removed the stress from your body. Your emotional and physical bodies are now stronger and healthier. And wish peace and good health to reign in your physical body. Now slowly return your attention to the room. And start to wiggle your fingers and toes. Come back to reality. I really love this meditation because the goal is to transmute fear into love and light. And it's hard to feel love to the extent in which we can when we're having a constant stress response in our body. When we're stressed out, not only can we not think clearly, and not only does it affect the physical health of our body, but it impedes our ability to love unconditionally and focus on helping I hope you enjoyed this meditation, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.